everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the Book Report presented by The Millions. That is Mike, and I'm Janet. And this week, we're doing a Book Report Goes to the Movies episode. We read and watched Dune by Frank Herbert. What did you think of Dune?
Oh, God. Where do I begin?
Preferably begin about 100 pages before anything interesting happens. So, before you get to what you want to tell me about Dune, just waste my time for an hour.
I did actually, after about the first 100 pages, kind of start to get more interested in the book. It's, sort of science fiction and sort of fantasy, but it's also kind of this weird political conspiracy thriller. So there's like a lot of scenes of people talking in very intimate detail just about, but the Harkonnens can't know that we've consulted with the Emperor and the guys from Chom or whatever the fuck.
It has the skeleton of a science fiction masterpiece. Like, it has a good backstory. It has cool mythology. It has lots of action. Lots of, plot twists, and yet, he does everything to work against that. Everything that happens, first there's a chapter where they're talking about how it's going to happen, then it happens, and then there's a chapter where they talk about what happened and its political implications.
Yeah,
we just want the one chapter, not all three.
How do you make a novel with sandworms that boring, Because, that's a pretty badass monster to have. And yet, I was just I cannot wait for this to be over. It's one of those books I could appreciate, like you said, the world building, the whole creation of the universe is pretty cool. It just bored me so much.
In a sense, it makes me a little mad because, as you know, I am pro-genre. I love reading, sci-fi, fantasy. When you talk about the ghettoization of genre, it's because this is what everybody thinks sci-fi is like. Cool worlds, but horrible writing and two-dimensional characters and sexism. You're like, no, it's not all sci-fi is like that. But then Dune, which is a pillar of sci-fi, is exactly like that. It's really badly written. And then we watched the movie. The movie was made in 1984 by David Lynch, was the director. And Kyle MacLachlan plays Paul. Usually with movies, it's a chance to capitalize on what's exciting about a book and jettison everything that's boring. And this movie did none of those things. It doubled down on the boring. Movies have the opportunity to show, not tell. And this movie was tell. You hear characters' inner monologues all the time. If you're hearing someone's thoughts, the camera zooms in on their face while they make a who farted face. And then all the inner monologue is whispered. So it's super annoying. Anytime you're hearing somebody's inner monologue, it's she knows. She knows. And it's Kyle MacLachlan being and it's never necessary. We always know what's going on. There's this prophecy about the Kwisatz Haderach, and it's people think it's Paul, maybe it's Paul, who knows. And there's just so many times throughout the movie where he's just am I the one? But so often. And sometimes he'll just be leaving dinner. And his inner monologue will be am I the one? It's no.
One of my favorite scenes with him is when he's dreaming. He's just learned that his family is going to go to Arrakis. And he's dreaming, he's talking in his sleep. And he actually says, Arrakis, Dune, the desert planet. Because I'd watch 2.5 hours of that, to be honest.
Really expository, bland sleep talking.
Although one good thing, and this is actually my favorite thing about the movie, is there are some scenes, very brief scenes, where you realize that Paul has a pug. And perhaps my favorite scene when Patrick Stewart charges into battle holding the pug, which I think is maybe one of my favorite Patrick Stewart moments ever. I was seriously like, David Lynch must have had a pug, and he's like, no, this pug's going in the movie.
Yeah, it was, Didn't like the book, didn't like the movie.
Arrakis, Dune, desert planet.
Me and my mom. And my dad. Well, we tried. We tried, sci-fi fans, and your stuff sucks.
Yeah, sorry. We made an honest effort. I like the pug. Well, thank you very much for watching At the Movies and this very special episode of the Book Report presented by The Millions. Join us next Friday when we will have a very special guest. You'll never walk alone, Janet.
Never walk alone, Mike.